In this lecture, we will talk about the class ArrayList. I am on the official Oracle Java documentation, and as you can see, on the right part, we are having a set of angle brackets. And inside it, we will write what we will call the generic type. This is really important to understand how the classes are written inside the documentation. You can see ArrayList extends abstract list, and abstract list extend abstract list collection, collection. An abstract collection extends object. As you know, every class in Java at the end extends object. Object is a super class. They also tell you what are all the implemented interfaces on the array list. Serializable, clonable, iterable, collection, lists, of course list, and random access. One thing which is really important is when you are going to look at a documentation on the Java documentation, make sure you understand well what is the purpose of a class and how it is working. First, an array list is the tool of choice to handle plenty of objects that you want to store. On an array, as you remember, you can only store values of one type only. So I can do an array of strings, an array of int, or of floats. But if I want to store a float, an int, a string, and a boolean, I cannot do it on an array. Also, an array has a size that you have to choose when you are initializing it, and I don't think you can change it once you initialize it. An array list, you don't have to care about that, and you can immediately choose to add whatever you want inside it without telling yourself, oh, am I going to hit the end of my array list? No. Okay, I would say it's more flexible. Also, we can see the method of a class in this part, and in the case of ArrayList, add method is really important. You can see the method and the name, the signature, in this case add. They say you have to provide an element of type E, and E, by the way, is the type you declared here, the generic type. But we will see it on the project in few minutes. So you have another signature for the add method, and in this case you can provide the index in which you want to store your value and the element. So you have plenty of interesting method, and we will see on IntelliJ how we can have a quick look on those methods and to understand fast what they need for signatures, for parameters, and what they can do and provide us. Let's jump into it. So they say ArrayList extends abstract list, abstract collection, abstract object. Let's check this. I did a new Java project called MyFirstList. Inside it, I only wrote some syntaxes on the main method, and I want to check what they are saying about the inheritance. When you have an array list, a type, in a class, in IntelliJ, you can just put your mouse on the top of it and immediately IntelliJ will tell you that ArrayList extends abstract lists and it implements list, random access, clonable, and serializable interfaces, right? But if we want to do a deep dive into it, we can hit the control button and the left click of the mouse on the top of ArrayList, and I will jump directly to the class. In this case, I'm not on the class I did, of course. This is what we will call a decompiled class. In other words, it is part of the JDK. When I try to write something inside it, I'm hitting my keyboard right now, IntelliJ tells me file is read-only. So bear in mind, this is a Java class, a JDK class. So they say ArrayList extends abstract list. Okay. I can do control click on abstract list, and abstract click extends abstract collection. That's right. And by the way, it implements list. And at the end, abstract collection implements collection. So that's pretty much it for the structure. It extends iterable, as we saw in the previous lecture also. That was the one that was completed at the very top of the slide. Now, I'm going to show you how to instantiate an array list and a list. First, I did a comment saying if I do list my list equal new list, I will have a compilation error because, as you remember, a list is an interface and an interface is abstract. You cannot instantiate an abstract class or interface. So the way I'm going to do it, if I want an object of type list, I'm going to do list, my variable, random values, equal new array list. This way, because array list implements, let me show you, list, I can, this is okay, to use a constructor of an array list if I want to do an instance of an object of type list. But I will have, look, random values ensure capacity is a method inside my list object and is in array list, so you cannot access it. Okay, so this means I wanted to show you if I try to call the ensure capacity method, I will not have access to it because I did an instance of an object of type list, and in list we do not have ensure capacity. Ensure capacity is in array list. This is really important to understand this, because if you want to access this method, you will have to do rather this array list string name list new array list, and this way this variable is names list. I will have access to ensure capacity. All right. I can do control click on it also, by the way. Then I can know very fast what is the purpose of this method, what is the signature, what does it need as parameters, what does it do, and yeah, pretty much everything. So in this case, increases the capacity of this array list instance if necessary to ensure that I can hold at least the number of elements specified by the minimum capacity argument. Params bin capacity, the desired minimum capacity. Okay. So let's go back to the beginning. I did an object an instance of an object of type list. And as you can see, I can add, on a very convenient way, elements that don't have the same type. I can add a string, an int, a float. So it shows us on an object of type list, I can store pretty much whatever I want. In this case, I'm going to use for the first time the generic type. I'm going to do list and set a set of angle bracket, and inside it I will write the generic type. In this case it will be string. So I do an instance of an object of type list of string called char_brands, and I can still use the ArrayList constructor. In this case I will be able to, you guessed it, store only strings because I said it here. If I try to add something else with another type, I will have a compilation error. All right? So this is really important to understand what does the generic type do. The most common way to do it is to do an instance of an object of type ArrayList, and I'm saying string, namelist, new ArrayList. This way I will have all the methods inside ArrayLists, and I can, one more time, add only strings inside it. But this time you can see I can use ensure capacity, because the method ensure capacity is on the ArrayList class. And as I did an object of type ArrayList, I can use it. Well, I wanted to show you one more thing. When you're working on those type of exercises to practice yourself, I highly recommend you to set breakpoints to see what's going on slowly. I can see on my thread and variables bookmark here, I will have my namelist variable. At this point, I can see its size is 0. After the expression line 27, I will have my first value inside it, and as you noticed, it kinda got one element more, and now its size is 1. We can see at the index 0 we are having a string with the value joy. I can do a step over, and each step over I'm going to do is showing us the new values inside it. All right? By the way, I highly recommend you to use the evaluate expression, because it is really a powerful tool. Look, I can this way discover what is inside the class I'm playing with, and see what would happen if I would use another method. So in this case, we understood what does add do. It adds an element, but we can use the contain method, simply doing an hover with the mouse on the top of the method. We will immediately know what does this method do. They say it returns true if this list contains the specified element. More formally, returns true if and only if this list contains at least one element E, such as object equals to EE, and we find again one more time the concept of generic type. So basically they are saying we can just write a value and they will return, this method will return true if we have a value such as joy inside it. As you can see, I can hit the evaluate button and I'm having true. If I do this, I will have false. I can play also with size. They say returns the number of elements in this list. This is really important, really interesting. I would say most of the time you will use add, contains, size. Index of also is useful. So they say return the index of the first occurrence of the specified element in this list, or -1 if this list does not contain the element. Okay, we can check. And indeed, John is at index 1. I think that's pretty much it for now. Make sure you start instantiating lists, array list, use the generic type, go to the official documentation if you have adopt. You can also, as you know now, just put your mouse here and IntelliJ will really fast explain you what a method is going to do for you. And I hope this is clear. I will catch you in the next lecture.